My luxury holy grail pieces. Do I have them? What were they? When did that all start? Let's talk about that. Hello, and the warmest of welcomes to today's video. For those of you who haven't seen my face before, hi, I'm Nick, fab to have you here. Those who have seen my face before, thank you so much for joining me again. I hope you enjoy my videos. I put out videos roughly 2 to 3 times a week on a range of different topics, anywhere from fashion to like more personal topics. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, please do head down, hit subscribe and turn on notification bell. I love chatting with you all. I'm all about living life loud, and what that means to me is being your authentic self, being proud to be you, and just celebrating who you are. Celebrating yourself, and of course, celebrating others. So, quick video. I wanted to chat about my holy grail pieces when I first really started thinking about luxury. What were they? Do I own them? Am I hunting the others down? Now, wish lists are obviously a very common video idea thought process when it comes to really purchasing any item, or it can be travel, it can be vehicles, it can be really anything. People aspire to things, people manifest, they aim to hunt items down. And when I very first started dreaming of the idea of being able to own luxury items, there was a very sort of specific list that I was thinking about, and things that I always said, goodness, if I could ever, I would love to own that. And I'm probably going back to probably around 2013 is roughly where we're talking. So I was just in my first year of university. I was starting to really think about luxury, and obviously my idea of luxury at the time was different. I used to shop at House of Fraser, and that used to feel really high end, and because for my budget at the time I was really splashing out. I was wearing a lot of Ralph Lauren and Lacoste and Vivienne Westwood, and that felt very extravagant. And to be honest, I actually, funnily enough, dress less expensively now than I did then. I used to spend a lot more then on clothing and things like that than I do now. But I was getting into all of that stuff, but there were still some very, very luxurious pieces that I thought, if I could ever, I would love to own these items. And it was quite a small list. I hadn't yet been able to fully explore my style, but I knew that at some point I wanted them, and it was interesting as to whether or not I was ever going to get there, and you'll see what I mean when I talk them through. So, there are 3 that I own, there are 3 I do not, and there is 1 that I don't think I will ever own. I don't think I ever will. Anyway, let's talk about the 3 that I own first. The first one I've talked about, you're going to be so bored of me talking about this piece. The Phantom. I first saw this in 2013 and absolutely fell in love with it. Cassie had one, I remember seeing it, and I just fell absolutely in love with it. I thought it was a beautiful bag. I thought it was a gorgeous piece. Hers is in grey, and I thought it was fabulous. I thought it was chic and sophisticated, and this really luxurious item that just felt so extravagant without being in your face and without being logos and all of that. It felt like the epitome of luxury to me in terms of what a bag was. It just oozed luxury. And I have been in love with the bag ever since, and I have been discussing buying one for a long time. I am so pleased to have gotten my hands on one. Now, I don't have the most traditional because mine is in yellow. However, that feels very true to my style as it is now. In terms of the colour that I would have wanted at the time, you'd have probably been looking at grey or black for me, but even then I wasn't carrying bags really at that time. So I had, God, what was I using? Like Fred Perry Messenger style bags. That was what I was using at the time, I think. So yeah, the idea of having a Phantom I could never have really dreamed of. I didn't really know about the pre-loved market at that point either. So the fact that I've got that is incredible. This was an item that I would have loved to have owned, but I would never have been confident enough to own. And it was the okay. These had only just, I think, been released or had been out for a couple of years by the time that I bought was really sort of looking at these. I would see them in magazines, I would see them on Instagram, I would see them in the media, I would see celebrities wearing them. And I just remember thinking that is the most stunning shoe that you will ever be able to own. The silhouette of it, I just think was so gorgeous. I was not confident enough or secure enough at the time to feel like I could wear heels, even really talk about the fact that I wanted to own them. I really felt like I would be judged. So that was just something I really pushed to the back of my mind. And then it was not last year, the year before I bought them, 2023, I bought these. But it was probably 2018 that I bought my first pair of heels. So, yeah, and the obsession and the obsession has continued ever since. Like I said, it's my favorite. I've said in a previous video, it's my favorite style of shoe to buy is the heel, the high heel. So yeah, and these are just absolutely iconic and beautiful. So very sentimental. Always wanted a pair. Very pleased to have one. Then we have the final item that I own. That was my holy grail, the Burberry trench. Now, I don't have the traditional Burberry trench. I thought that I would probably buy one in the sand colour or a beige of some description, because that is the very traditional Burberry trench that you see. I happened to pick this beautiful blue variation up in 2019. I think it's beautiful. I just don't feel like it suits me. So I talk about this item a lot. I mention the fact that I'm not looking to sell it. I believe that maybe I will, you know, grow up into it, or there will be some flash of inspiration that I'll have styling wise, that suddenly I start to wear this. For the moment, I'm not in love with it, but do I think it's beautiful? Yes, I do. Do I also think that's a good combo? So yes, this is an item that I always wanted to own. I was never interested in like the Max Mara coats. I think when it came to a luxury coat, this was it. This was it. The only other piece of really high-end outerwear, or high-end sort of like a blazer or something, would be something from Balmain. But that's, as the years have rolled on, that's something that I've become more interested in. That wasn't something that, when I'm talking about this time-stamped period of sort of 2013, when I was about 18 years old and really starting to research luxury, this didn't feature. Now let's talk about the three that I don't own. The first one that I hope I will buy at some point is a Chanel Classic Flap. Now, can I see myself buying one new from store? No, I cannot. However, I would love to own a Chanel Classic Flap in either a jumbo or a maxi, or one of those sort of double XL flight style ones, which I don't think they're considered classic flaps, but you know what I mean. So I think that's where my head would go with it. Hi, baby. Yes, I would love to own one. Now, at the time, I was probably leaning very much towards black, caviar, silver hardware, gold hardware. Those were the classic versions that you were seeing, the very popular versions that you were seeing. Now, as the years have gone on and my style has evolved, the idea of having one that is colourful is much more appealing to me. Would I happily have one in black caviar with silver hardware? Yes, I would. But the idea of having one maybe in patent that's a very bright colour, that's quite bold, and that is appealing to me. So thinking about that, but that's just something that's changed over time. The item itself hasn't changed. A large classic flap would definitely be on that list. The other item that I hope maybe I'll be able to buy, I don't think they make them anymore, but it is another Christian Louboutin item, and it is the Rollerboy loafer. And this item is one that I bought a substitute that I have subsequently lost, the black suede loafer, and I wished that I had the roller boy instead, and they were these like spiked ones. I remember I had a photo, and I think they were these, it was like a spiked bright pink, and there was a gold, and I just absolutely loved them. I'll see if I can find the photo, but it was like a reference photo, and I just was obsessed with them. I would love a pair of spiked Louboutin shoes. So I've talked about the trainers with the spikes on them, but the loafer was really that holy grail piece. And yeah, whilst they're not on my immediate list of things to buy, they are definitely something down the line that I would love to acquire. I just think that they hold a real nostalgia for me. Not because they were icons of fashion in any way, but because they were a piece that I dreamed of being able to own. And I'm hoping one day I can convert that into a reality. And I'm much more committed at the moment to buying the pieces that I have always wanted to own, rather than just things that come up, because I think that's where I'll get more value and more enjoyment out of them and more connection to them. So yeah, so that's definitely a piece. Then the piece that I do not own, that I will not own, is a pair of Louboutin platforms. Now, of course, platforms really had their moment sort of back when I'm talking 2013, 2014, 2015. I adore them. I adore them. I think they look incredible. I do not like wearing platforms. Therefore, I do not have an interest in spending hundreds of pounds on a designer platform. I've got my Versace's, and that's enough for me in terms of having luxury platform shoes. I have my only makers, which I barely ever wear. I don't find platforms enjoyable to walk in. I don't find them to be particularly stable. Yes, they are more comfortable, I would say, than the equivalent height or a lower, like an 160mm platform with a 3.5-inch platform is more comfortable than this, 100%. More comfortable probably than an 100mm shoe. However, for me, I don't enjoy walking in them. I don't find them to be as stable. Therefore, it is not something that I would be spending so much money on. Do I still love them? Yes. Do I still see people bring out their Louboutin platforms from 2015 and say, I haven't worn these in a decade, and still go, wow, they're amazing? Yes, I do. I love them still. I love the look. However, you will not see me buying a pair. And of course, how could I forget the Mulberry Bayswater? How have I sat here and gone through all of that and not talked about the Bayswater? Because I used to see the Bayswater in House of Fraser, and I used to think it was the most stunning top handle bag in the world. I used to think it was beautiful. And I remember looking with my dad for my mum's birthday one year, and my mum always loved a shoulder bag, and we were looking at the Bayswater and we weren't sure that it was the right shoulder bag, but I remember thinking it was just stunning. Absolutely stunning. And she's got a Bayswater tote in this beautiful purple. It's a really, really gorgeous, really gorgeous bag. But yeah, I remember just loving them. I had friends who had Bayswaters. They were very popular in the early 2010s. And like I said, I remember seeing them in House of Fraser and John Lewis and just being absolutely obsessed. And the fact that I now own, how many do I have? 6? That's like, pinch me. Pinch me. Hello, you're very needy. Hello. Yeah, that's like a pinch me moment. So yeah, the fact that I've been able to tick off some of these items is incredible. I feel very, very fortunate to be able to do that. Now, I shop in what I perceive to be a very savvy way. Outlets, pre-loved. I don't like spending full price if I don't have to. If I do, look, fine, I will pay full price for something. If I can avoid it, I will not pay full price for anything, but sometimes you have to. But I think I can shop in a very savvy way. I have benefited from the fact that a lot of the pieces I have mentioned have lost their popularity and lost their luster in the eyes of a lot of people over the years. So yeah, I'm grateful for the fact that I have been able to benefit from that. Of course, it means if I ever wanted to move these pieces on myself, I'm not going to make the, these huge profits and these, there's not going to be this massive market for them, but that's okay. That's okay, because I'm buying them because I love them, and my intention with these pieces is to use them with abandon and love and just, wear them forever, ultimately. If I'm thinking already straight away, what if I need to move this piece on? I feel like I'm already on the back foot. So there we have it, everyone. Those were my Holy Grail items, and the ones that I've been able to tick off so far, and the ones that I'm looking at going forward. Now, of course, my list has expanded in terms of my wish list and everything, and my dream bag has also changed. I've mentioned the Birkin in crocodile in a big size, but that was not a Holy Grail at the time. I didn't even really know what a Birkin was back then, so it didn't feature this list. But of course, if I were to do it as it stands now, maybe I will do that. Let me know if you'd be interested in seeing that. There will probably be some slightly different items. Anyway, thank you so much as always for watching. Really appreciate you taking the time. Thank you so much as always, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, everyone. Bye now.